Hello, good afternoon everybody. It's still hot, so I'm still not walking. I'm sorry, and I know my blubber could do with it, but I just can't face it. It's that hot, I've actually got my hat on, even though I'm sitting in the garden. Anyway, so it looks like, if reports are to be believed, that Spence will sign today or tomorrow. I'm absolutely loving the 6th Spence and our DJed people, which I think is, some of you guys out there are far too clever for your own good. I could never have come up with anything so clever, so yeah, I'm going to nick that. So yeah, really good. But listen, hey, apparently very exciting young player, being, a lot being said about it being the right move for us and all the rest of it, and I know I've talked about it before, so I'm not going to repeat what I've said previously, but for me, let's see what happens. So a couple of other things I just wanted to touch on today. Fitness coach, I was going to talk about it the other day, because we've been watching the videos of the training in South Korea in the 30-degree heat. Oh, if only it was that cool. Where they're doing something like 43 lengths of the pitch before collapsing, and people saying, oh, that's terrible, how hard, and all the rest of it. Listen, try sitting in my loft room on a computer for 8 hours a day. That's hard. That's hard compared to running up and down a football pitch when you're a fit young man. But this fitness coach, apparently, he has what's called the bell of shame. I've never heard this, but I read this today, which I thought was quite interesting, that he has a bell of shame. So the first person to wimp out rings the bell, so that everybody else then sees who's the first person to wimp out. Now, I used to have a thing like that when I used to run a site in Southampton, and it was called the box of shame, and it had a face on it, and you literally used to put it, if you said something stupid, you had to wear the box of shame. So I actually get that. I think that's a really cool idea. Nobody wants to ring that bell. Nobody wants to ring it. But yeah, really good. Apparently this guy is called the Marine. So anyway, I don't know anything about that. And the other thing that they've brought in is this new set piece coach, which I think is a great idea. Apparently he's got something like 300 different ideas for free kicks and set pieces and so on. So God knows we could do with some support in that situation, because it's very rare that we score for a free kick, and even corners was a bit wanting for many a season. I know we had a couple last year, but even so, many a season we had to worry about that. The final thing I just wanted to touch on was, if we were in any doubt that Conte is leading the request for the players that we're signing, it's interesting to see the quotes that have been attributed to him today, where he said that he was keen, that we get the players in early to give him time, which is what we're doing, which I think is really cool. He says, Forrester, good guy in a special position, being the second goalkeeper. It's a difficult position to fill, but he's a great guy, Forrester that is, and they've been monitoring him and he knows him well. So clearly, that's who he wanted, and that's who he got. Lenglet, which I thought was quite an interesting one, because obviously there's been a lot of talk about that. So his view on that was he's not been getting the continuity within his game, which says to me he's been played out of position or not been playing enough, and therefore his form is suffering, which is what we'd kind of said before. But what he does bring, according to Conte, is experience and personality, as well as the ability to go to a back four if required. So Richarlison, he said that he's strong physically, difficult to play against, and a good character with lots and lots of quality. Okay, so seems like he wanted him. Bissouma, been impressed with him all season, and it's an important part of the midfield makeup is to have this guy in. And then finally on Perisic, he said, strong player, 2-footed, loads and loads of experience, who has won pretty much everything, and one of the guys that he knows very, very well. So it's quite interesting, because if you read a lot of those quotes and everything, one of the things that seems to be recurring in what he says is character, strong and flexible, which I think is key to an awful lot of what we've been missing. You know, what he's building is he's trying to bring in a couple of players for every position, but players that can play in other positions as well to support those other positions. He's bringing in winners and people with a good mentality and a good character that fits in with what he actually wants from his team. So all in all, sounds pretty positive. And if Jed Spence does come in and he is the player that Conte wants, then I'm sure we'll hear all the good stuff about him very soon. So yeah, all very good. Again, just to update, our man in Asia, Jason Trenter, is still updating me with lots of photos, little videos of what's going on in South Korea. It looks like he's having a wonderful time. So if you want to see any of those, if you pop over to South Dorset Spurs on Facebook, and I think you'll see them on SDS Coys on Instagram, and also on at Spurs South on Twitter. You'll be able to see those images and stuff if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So yeah, all good. He's enjoying himself, so that's good stuff. I will maybe try to put some of the little videos and pictures and stuff relating to Spurs into a little video once he's on his way back, and I'll post it on YouTube so you guys can see it all in one place if you don't have any of those other social media outlets. Okay, that's all from me. Short and sweet. Keep the faith. Thanks very much for watching and subscribing and all the rest of it. It's quite interesting. I'm going to digress now, but it's quite interesting. I was looking at the analytics on YouTube, which I don't normally do. It was quite interesting that it looks like that the people that are watching these videos, you're all old bastards like me. You're all over 45 or something like that, and you're all men. Where's the ladies? Come on. Where's the ladies? No ladies watching my videos. How disappointing is that? Eh? Good looking fella like me getting ignored by all the ladies. Oh well, you can't have it all. Up the Spurs.